Christopher Thomas Plante, my pal, my confidant. We're going to play Johann Sebastian Joust because it's finally a thing that people can just, like, have. You can just have Johann Sebastian Joust now.
It's only taken a few years for this to become a reality.
Just a little bit, and this is arguably the worst game to do overview for because it's happening in the meat space. Ooh, it's a close one between green and purple. Who do you think's going to win?
Watch out!
Look out! Oh,
Team Green!
Some exciting stuff is happening in meat space that you can't... Ooh.
Purple wins!
Purple takes the crown. So, Johann Sebastian Joust is part of the Sportsfriends collection. We're going to dive into all 4 of them. Just came out on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. If you're a Kickstarter backer, you should have a code. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend money on it now because you didn't want to invest in the imaginary product. Green, in that, just did like a flying tiger kick. Knocked out everybody else. But Johann Sebastian Joust, you should probably know what it is at this point. You hold your controller. You got to try and knock out your other players by swiping at their controllers.
In the real space, in the real world.
In the real space, and you get some visual indicators on the TV screen in Sportsfriends, because it's the special way. You can see you get some tips. So Sportsfriends, it's a collection of 4 indie local multiplayer games. It is the first retail release of Johann Sebastian Joust that we've been championing for a while. What's cool is on PlayStation 4, you can use the DualShock 4 as your controller instead of the PlayStation Move, which is typically how you play it. And as you can see, so in the original version of Johann Sebastian Joust, which was released for PC, Mac, and I think maybe Linux, you can change these options in like a text document by like changing the string parameters of it. But here you have a lot more options that I've unlocked, like Conductor Mode, which lets you change the tempo of the music, which sort of determines how fast you can move while you play it. You can determine all kinds of different heuristics to chop and screw the game how you want it to be played. It's exciting. It's good. It's as good as Johann Sebastian Joust gets. Yeah, it's just...
I hadn't seen that menu. I didn't know that you could have Bennett Foddy, current NYU professor, former rock band member, as the announcer in the game.
Yeah, he was in Cut Copy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I always forget about that. I love that band. That's so weird. As you can see, this is playing with Invincibility on. It's got lives turned on, so after you die. It's also got freeze, which requires you to, if you like move the controller at all, you're already out. But that doesn't matter so much because everybody was already out. You can see when they glow white, that means your character's using the Invincibility, which you can set off by using the trigger, and then you can move as fast and as much as you want, giving you like a very brief window to dive at one of the other players. It's really cool. They take the core Johann Sebastian Joust experience, which is already really great, and adds all these modifiers to let you make it the game that you want it to be. So that's Johann Sebastian Joust. It's a hard game to overview because you can't see what's actually going on, so let's dip into the other 3 and see what's going on. So this is the first, I guess, virtual game included in Sportsfriends. It's called Barra Berry Ball. It was created by Noah Sasso. Basically, it's sort of Smash Brothers-y with a sports element to it. You have to, and I'm out.
Oh my gosh, it has fat dunks. Somebody said, what if we took Super Smash Brothers and we added the fattest dunks?
So you can attack, you can see those little circles, those represent how many jumps you have, and those refill whenever you touch the ground. This is me and my friend playing last night before he knew the rules, so he has a bit of a learning curve, which makes it a little bit easier for me to get these mad dunks off. But he does save it here, a little bit, almost. He doesn't get it, though, not quite. It takes Barra Berry Ball takes some learning because it is a really, really tricky game. Basically, you want to get the ball in your color of the water. So you see, I'm the green player. I'm trying to get the ball to go in my color of the water and sink all the way down. I can punch the ball. I can pick it up and throw it. You have a bit of a charge that you can do to make the ball go a little bit further. If at any time your character drops below the screen, then you lose a point. Here, I've run out of jumps, so I'm going down, and the ball's going down. He's going to score a point there. If at any time your character falls below the screen, you lose a point, so you don't want that to happen. So it's basically like using your jumps as effectively as you possibly can while punching the other player, which moves them away from the ball and I think depletes their jumps. I'm just trying to get over in there. It doesn't work. Little riposte return dunk going on.
Now, I'm a fan of the let your things charge up, kind of like what you're doing, and then carry the ball down with me.
You can do that. It's tricky, though, because if you start getting punched, you're going to lose your jumps, you're going to sink, you're going to lose your points. Ooh, just barely made it back on there. It's a very, very fast-paced game. You have to really pay attention to how many of those circles you have left. Because if you sink yourself, like scoring points is very, very difficult, especially when you're playing 2-on-2, where you play 2 players to a team and you're working together. It's very hard to get the ball past a defense of 2 players. And so to lose a point after you've already scored it and like worked your ass off to get the ball on your side of the goal is pretty devastating. So you have to pay attention to that stuff. He's gonna get it. Is he gonna get it back on? No. That is going to be.
I love the flapping arms animation.
It really makes you feel pretty useless.
Yeah.
So yeah, Barbary Ball. It's a genuinely fun combination. These ideas of beating the shit out of each other, which is fun regardless of what game you're playing, and also like it almost feels like Foursquare in a way, like karate Foursquare.
Yeah, there's also almost a math to it when you're playing with 4 people of like, is it worth it to sacrifice myself just to get the ball down to the bottom, but maybe bring down the other player with me and then give me the advantage on the next round.
And the idea of jumps being a resource, like right there, I just used 3 jumps to get up to the ball at the beginning. That's not very efficiently used because then if I don't have time to recharge and he makes a big play and I have to go after him to try and stop it, I'm going to be up shit creek because maybe I needed that one last jump to get back on. So it's very Smash Brothers like in that regard too, because you have to use your jumps to stay on the screen, or else you're gonna sink. So yeah, it's fun. I wish I could show. I wish I had recorded this with 4 players because it's so much more frantic. I recorded all of these games 1 versus 1. So just imagine like the craziness of it times 2.
Oh,
and you'll get a pretty good idea.
I can picture it, and then picture it inside of a whale.
Yeah,
because that's an option.
Yeah, no, there's a few levels to choose from, and a few characters, and each character has different styles that you can choose from, different like combat techniques, which changes how they behave.
Can we talk about how you're wrecking your friend?
I really took him to full
What type of bully
school.
are you? You invited this guy over.
Yeah, come check out this game. Yeah, you've never played it before, but
there's a whole bunch of multiplayer games that you have no experience with.
So Super Pole Riders, I don't know about you. This was made by Bennett Foddy, who created Quap and Gerp. And a few other really fun and very punishing games of that ilk. It is a pole vaulting. God, it is a sports game, I guess. Like all of the games here are sports games. Wow, I just got kicked.
A pole vaulting ball pushing game. You
Yeah.
push the ball towards your goal and also guard the other goal from the opposing player. Wow, that was the worst description of Super Pole Riders ever.
No, that was 2 of the worst descriptions of Super Pole. Maybe it's just a difficult game. That was sick
I
block,
love about
by the
this
way.
game?
That was a sick block he just put up of my kid. Yeah, he did it again.
The most random people are good at it.
Yeah.
When we play this in our office, like Frushik, who is, the destroyer of worlds in video games, the freak on a leash.
Yeah.
He goes up against like some random person from sales who hasn't played a game since Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo and gets devastated.
Yeah.
Like just random people are excellent at this game.
So there's a few strategies to work out, right? You can jump on someone's head to take them out of the game for a pretty significant amount of time, enough to give you maybe that kick you need to score the goal. I just got scored on by my friend who, again, has never played I played this game quite a bit in the original Flash version. He just kicked me into space right there. You can land on another player's head to take him out of the game. You can jump up using your pole to kick the ball, which is very difficult, especially once the other player starts getting in the way. Or you can just hold your pole in the air to either scooch it along. Got a good kick off there. To either scooch it along or block the other player's kick. They'll still move it in the right direction, but as you can see, I took a little bit of the inertia off it. Not a great block, though. Once you can start getting those good kicks going, man, he is really blasting me. Once you start getting those kicks going and you start building momentum, it's really hard for the other player to stop you because they have to then position themselves to kick it back in the right direction. See, he just kicked it over my head. I'm not going to be able to get up there. So there is like a lot of strategy to it, and you also have to be really good with the pole.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do because sometimes you will just like go into silly town. Like, what are you doing over there? That's not where you need to be, obviously.
Now, in 4-player, you can have strategies where one person just serves as a blocker, while they're always just staying almost vertical in the way, and then the person behind them is getting a nice running start and just blasting the ball at the last second.
Again, it's 2 versus 2. So you have another player on your team that is can be a support guy. He can be a headhunter that's just like trying to jump on other players' domes and take them out. There's a surprising amount of strategy to these games. Like, I feel like watching them on video. Yeah, I may have fallen prey to this too before I played them. Like, they just kind of seem like silly games that you maybe would be able to master fairly quickly, but they're relatively complex. They require a lot of mastery, and not only that, there's a lot of options in terms of, you can see me trying to just push it back a little bit. You have a lot of options in terms of different courses.
The courses changed this game a lot in particular.
Because they could dip down, or there could be like a beam in the middle that you can't put your pole on. So in the entire middle of the field, you can't do anything. You can also adjust the score limit and the time limit. You can see we're about to run out of time here. But yeah, this is, I don't know about you, this is the favorite game, I think, between me and my friend that I was playing this with. We played this.
Did you get sudden death at any time?
No, I don't know how sudden death
works.
So
I believe this is right. In sudden death 2v2, it puts you have one bar that the two people share.
Oh my
so you're on
God.
opposite ends. And on 1v1, your poles turn into giant hammers. So you can smash the other person.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
And the last one standing wins.
So Hooker is going to be tricky because it requires 2 versus 2. You can share two players can share a controller, and you can also do that for super pole vaulters.
Super pole riders.
Super pole riders. Sorry, and so that is what we try to do. Chris Plante, I understand that is the way you actually like to play Hokra. Is one player controlling 2 characters using the same controller.
So in as far as I can tell, the New York game community, who's been playing this for a while, True Hokra is the default way to play.
Okay.
Though I don't think the developer of the game would necessarily agree with that.
That was Ramiro
Corbetta.
It is very hard to, because right now
incredibly challenging.
Both me and my friend are controlling 2 of these squares with our 2 God-given thumbs, and then you only have one other button, that is the dash or throw button.
Yeah.
And the idea is you want to get the puck into your goal, into your 2 goals. You can see it charges up, and once it fills all the way up, then here I passed it into his goal, which is a bad idea. Once you get it into your goal for long enough, you win the game. Now, they are faster than you. They're faster than you when they don't have the puck, so you have to keep passing it back and forth with your other player, ideally between the 2 goals, and try and keep it away from them. It's a really hard game to describe, even though it's a fairly simple idea. It feels like
playing 2-on-2 hockey, almost, because it's so much passing of the puck. I don't know. When I was a kid and I played hockey games on the Sega Genesis, the alley-oop type of technique was like my go-to, because most games you could kind of cheat it. It would always fake out the goalie, so you would always pass right before you shot on goal, and you could always score. And for some reason, this captures that feel of passing and scoring. The reason I like True Hokra so much, though, is I've seen it played by people who are obsessives at it. Some of the kids who go to NYU Game Center play this game just obsessively, and they will destroy people. And then you see someone doing it at an elite level, which is almost what this game, more than I think any of the other sportsman games, calls for.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, the strategies that must go into this game are phenomenal, especially once you start getting into areas like this. So this is a different level. I think this is Tokyo, where, oops, I accidentally gave him some points, where there's a net in the middle that will slow you down if you try to run through it. Your goal is bigger on both sides, and there's a wall blocking you, so you need to do a lot of corner bounce shots to get your ball in goal or to get it to the other player. You can also throw the puck at full speed through the net, so you can pass it to a buddy who's on the other side without taking that speed penalty. So just right there, that's 3 or 4 things that completely change the rules of the game. This is a very short game, though, because my friend just couldn't get his 2 thumbs working in tandem. He scored for me there. There's also a level editor that is really easy to understand, because you're just dropping those different elements like nets and walls and goals on the board, and you can create your own arenas. It's a really neat game. That is the one I actually want to play the most, just to get really good at it, because I think that might be the trickiest one to sort of grok. Here is us playing Super Pole Riders again. We did a random game option from the top, and it just picks random characters and a random level and a random game. that as long as you have the number of controllers connected required, you can, you don't have to pick. So, yeah, that's Sports Friends. It's just so amazing. Like, the PlayStation is becoming the thing that I take to parties with me. It's becoming like, if we've gone on a couple like lake house trips with our friends, it is 100% of the time the thing that we bring with us, because now I've got Towerfall on there, I've got Sports Friends. Like, it is becoming like a party in a box almost. So, man, I just hope that keeps happening. And here you can see all of the Kickstarter funders in the game.
I agree with you about the taking this out to like a lake house or just hanging out with friends who don't play video games. I mean, Megan talked about this in her review, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like video games have a stigma, even with people our age who enjoy playing them. Sometimes that's not what people want to do on like a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And a game like this, there's just something about it that maybe because it's it feels so old-fashioned, or because it's just so charming, but it doesn't feel like that sort of thing. It's something that when I pull it out with my friends who aren't even intimidated by games, they love it. When we played it in the office, people come out of the woodwork to play this game, and it just makes me happy that something like that exists that isn't immediately distasteful to a certain type of person.
Sure.
I don't know. That's great.
I think when Nidhogg is coming to PlayStation 4 soon, I think that's going to only add. That has become kind of a favorite among my group of friends who, like you said, don't play video games, but they'll play the hell out of some Towerfall. I'm genuinely excited to have people over again, like my usual Towerfall group, to introduce this into the rotation, because I think that PlayStation 4 would be smart to sort of bring that community back to life. I imagine there are probably going to be a lot of people like there were in the comments of our Towerfall review saying I just don't have people to play this with, so I'm not that excited about it. Hopefully we can start to see a resurgence of that, and hopefully PlayStation will continue to capitalize on that idea. But yeah, that's Sports Friends. It is a very concise party in a box, and it's just so delightful. It's so good. But yeah, Chris Plante, thank you. I'm excited to see you again. I don't know when, but I wanna pole ride with you.
You're gonna be in New York.
I'm be in New York in 2 weeks.
We're gonna play so much of this game when you're here.
We're gonna pole ride the whip.
I'm excited.
Me too. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back soon with more hot vid content this week. Very viral, very shareable. Give it a +1 on Google+. BuzzFeed it. Is that a thing?
Yeah, BuzzFeed
it. Feed it the buzz. And we'll be back real soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.